Hey, everybody, just checking in on Saturday, right as the NFL playoffs are kicking off. Just thought I'd bring you up to date on some 49ers stuff. Kind of the big news of the last couple of days. Obviously, the 49ers have already held defensive coordinator interviews with Deshae Townsend and Robert Saleh. So the 49ers have satisfied the Rooney Rule for them as far as the defensive coordinator position goes, and they can hire anybody at any time now for defensive coordinator. However, something came to light on Friday that, frankly, the 49ers should have known about, and they should have not gone down the road that Kyle Shanahan went down on Wednesday when he announced that Klay Kubiak was going to be promoted to offensive coordinator. Now, clearly, that's a position that wasn't open, wasn't going to be open. Kyle Shanahan is not looking for someone from the outside to step in and fill a role. The idea was that Klay Kubiak has basically taken on the same duties that Mike McDaniel had with the team in 2021 when he was promoted to offensive coordinator, and he was promoted to offensive coordinator from run game coordinator because the team's passing game coordinator, Mike LaFleur, had left to go to the Jets with Robert Saleh. So with McDaniel being the carryover, and kind of Kyle Shanahan's right-hand man. That's why that move was made. And as I recall back in 2021, it wasn't necessary to go through that process with the Rooney Rule. Obviously, Mike McDaniel, a minority coaching candidate. So the Friars did not have to go through that interviewing external candidates for the job. But it's kind of put the 49ers in a weird situation and maybe put the NFL in a weird situation because it's obvious Klay Kubiak is either going to get that promotion eventually, which Kyle Shanahan announced on Wednesday, or the 49ers just won't even hire or have anybody on staff in that role of quote unquote offensive coordinator. But what Shanahan said about Kubiak on Wednesday was that he just hasn't had the official title. And he gets that official title now. He's more because he's deserving of that, but he's basically been doing the same thing. Now, the next question, all of course, was, well, who's going to call plays? Because Klay Kubiak did call plays in the 49ers final regular season game, which was that loss to the Arizona Cardinals. And basically, only one coach, whether it's from the booth or the sideline, can have a direct line into the radio transmitter of the quarterback, and that is the person calling plays. So only one person calls plays. That person has always been, other than the season finale against the Cardinals, that one person has always been Kyle Shanahan, except for when Klay Kubiak did it. First time, was it Kyle Shanahan, I think, became the offensive coordinator of the Houston Texans in 2008. He has called plays every season since then, including his first 8 seasons with the 49ers. And so this was the first time since 2008 that someone other than Kyle Shanahan has called plays for a team on which Kyle Shanahan was on the staff. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly. I reached out to the league office just to see what's going on there and whether the 49ers would be subject to any discipline for, in essence, kind of circumventing that rule. Now, the NFL requires that every team to interview at least two external minority candidates, either in person or virtually, for a coordinator job. And so that is now very much up in the air what the 49ers are going to do. It's my understanding, or at least I haven't heard of any interviews, whether defensive coordinator, special teams, or offensive coordinator taking place on Saturday, but it's pretty clear with a lot of teams looking for head coaches, and those hires haven't been made yet. 49ers do want to get ahead of the game a little bit, certainly as far as the offensive coordinator, or I'm sorry, as soon as as far as the defensive coordinator goes, but pretty clearly the front runner for that job right now is Robert Saleh. He also has interviews for head coaching jobs with the Raiders and the Jaguars, so we'll see what happens there. Still haven't heard or confirmed whether Jeff Ulbrich or any of those other defensive coordinator candidates have been approached by the 49ers about potential interviews. And those candidates, of course, Gus Bradley, Matt Eberflus, Dennis Allen, Lou Anaromo. So um, we'll see what happens there, but I would think that the 49ers will want to move pretty quickly on that. A couple of things that happened, the Associated Press, which is the official All-Pro selections, announced their All-Pro teams on Friday. Fred Warner, first team All-Pro, fourth time in his career. That puts him on kind of an accelerated path for, those honors at the end of someone's career. And you all know what we're talking about here as far as Hall of Fame. George Kittle, another guy who certainly appears to be on that Hall of Fame path. He's a two-time AP All-Pro. Did not get it this year. Second team All-Pro as the rookie from the Las Vegas Raiders, Brock Bowers, gets that distinction. And yeah, I think was Bowers was he worthy of first team All Pro? Absolutely. Was George Kittle more worthy of first team All Pro? I'd say yes. And that's, I always try to give it to you objectively and look at things honestly. And I do think that, it's a tough call. I understand why Brock Bowers got it. 112 receptions for 1,194 yards this season. But when you look at Kittle, when Kittle had 78 catches, 1,106 yards, so 1,106 yards. So Kittle had 88 fewer yards receiving than Brock Bowers on 59 fewer targets. With Brock Purdy and the 49ers quarterbacks targeting Kittle, 83% of those passes were completed. When the Raiders targeted Brock Bowers, 73% of those passes were completed. And Kittle had more touchdowns, 8-5. Kittle also played in two fewer games. And that doesn't even take into consideration the blocking part of it. And again, we'll just use PFF. Um, the PFF grades has and whatever these numbers mean. But as a run blocker, the PFF had Kittle rated 70.8 compared to 56. And as a pass blocker, Kittle was rated better, 62.8 compared to 51. So um, George Kittle probably deserved the All-Pro honor more so than Brock Bowers. But again, Brock Bowers with 112 receptions. Those are kind of flashy numbers that stood out for the first round draft pick. The kid from Napa, um, Brock Bowers. So that's where we are now. I'll keep you up to date, anything I hear on the coaching front, but right now, everything seems to be just kind of as is, status quo, other than not so fast on Klay Kubiak being the 49ers offensive coordinator. We'll find out. I told you I reached out to the NFL office, still no word from them about exactly the expectation for the 49ers, but it's pretty clear. The 49ers are either going to have Klay Kubiak as the offensive coordinator, or they're just going to say no offensive coordinator, period. And maybe Kubiak is the offensive passing game coordinator. I don't know exactly how they're going to work that now that Kubiak isn't just a slam dunk as the 49ers offensive coordinator. So that's all for now on a Saturday. Enjoy the Saturday of football, and we'll get back to you as an update warrants. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, like, comment, and that is it for now.